Dear learners, in this session, we shall be discussing autonomy and accountability. Autonomy refers to the authority of the institution to make decisions independently and carry out a plan of action. Autonomy and accountability, they go together. Greater autonomy in decisions relating to curricula, assessments, and resource allocation tend to be associated with better student performance, particularly when schools operate within a culture of accountability. Autonomy and accountability are really two sides of the same coin. Autonomy and accountability are key components of an education system that ensure educational quality. The transfer of core managerial responsibilities to schools, that is, promoting local accountability, it helps in reflecting local priorities, values, and needs, and it also gives teachers the opportunity to establish a personal commitment to students and their parents. Types of educational institutions. There are three types of educational institutions. First, institutions which are government aided or partially financed by the government. Second, fully government financed. Third, private or self-financed. Role of government for managing education in different educational institutions. First of all, minimum qualifications for becoming a teacher, remuneration, working hours. These are laid down by certain regulatory agencies. Minimum qualification needed for admission, needed for certain courses at state and national level institutions. The procedure of admission, reservation in admission, and recruitment are also laid down. Curricula are laid down by the state and central level agencies. Now, why do we need these rules and processes? We need these rules and processes to manage education in different institutions and to provide justice to all citizens, to control the quality of education. Again, the question comes, what is autonomy? Although we have discussed autonomy and accountability in the beginning of the session, let us repeat. Autonomy refers to the freedom to act freely, or in other words, when an institution is free to decide its policies and working procedures freely without the interference of any external agencies. Now, when we talk about autonomy, autonomy could be academic autonomy, administrative autonomy, or financial autonomy. What is academic autonomy? Educational institutions are agents for knowledge creation and knowledge dissemination. Can an educational institution perform these two functions, that is, acting as agents for knowledge creation and knowledge dissemination? Can these two tasks be performed if there is no freedom for deciding about the curriculum and teachers are controlled about the methods and techniques to be used by them in their teaching? So teachers, they should have this freedom to decide about the method and the techniques and the curriculum which is to be used for teaching purpose. Now, when we come to the NPE 1986, NPE 1986 suggested that the autonomy should be available to the colleges. So what kind of autonomy is needed by the colleges? The colleges, they need autonomy, especially in the selection of students, appointment and promotion of teachers, determination of courses of study and methods of teaching, and choice of areas for research, and also promotion of teachers. Then the Program of Action 1992 for NPE 1986. It also recommended developing a large number of autonomous colleges as well as creation of autonomous departments within universities on a selective basis. Now, before moving ahead, let us discuss that what are autonomous colleges. Autonomous colleges are affiliated to or these are recognized by any government body or university, but they follow their own regulations, their own curricula, their own examination pattern, their own grade system for the academic courses instead of following the university's syllabus. But it is not easy to get the status of an autonomous college. Then, freedom in teaching, learning, admitting students, deciding curriculum, conducting research, all these are the indicators of academic autonomy. Now, let's move to the second type of autonomy, which is administrative autonomy. Now, what are the important aspects of administration of institutions? These are policy making, planning, and directing. And educational institutions, they receive funds from some agencies which influence them. Now let us discuss the areas where the administrative autonomy can be exercised. First, organization of different institutional programs, admitting students, declaration of school results, appointment of staff, providing different facilities to staff and students in institutions. Now, third type of autonomy is financial autonomy. And what are the areas which are included in the financial autonomy? The areas are how to generate money, how to spend money, and how to invest money. The head of the institution shall have the freedom with responsibility to decide how the money can be spent properly. Now, the objectives to be achieved through autonomy. Objectives which can be achieved by having autonomy are, these are as per UGC guidelines 2003 to determine its own courses of study and syllabi, to prescribe rules of admission subject to the reservation policy of the state governments, to evolve methods of evaluation and conduct examination, to achieve higher standards and greater creativity. Objectives, there are some more objectives which can be achieved by having autonomy are to promote national integration and to ensure accountability of the institution and its members. Now let's talk about the Professor S.P. Thiagarajan, 2004, Vice Chancellor of University of Madras. Autonomy should necessarily lead to excellence in academics, governance, and financial management of institutions. Now, governance here refers to structures and processes that are designed to ensure accountability, transparency, responsiveness, rules of law, stability, equity, and inclusiveness, empowerment, and broad-based participation. Autonomy is the freedom to decide academic issues like curriculum, instructional material, pedagogy, techniques of student evaluation. Administrative autonomy is the freedom to institution to manage its own affairs in regard to administration. And financial autonomy is the freedom to institution to expand the financial resources at its disposal in a prudent way, keeping in view its priorities. But there are some issues of autonomy and accountability. Let us discuss those issues here. External controls on autonomous functioning, restrictions on academic autonomy as a consequence of the limitations of rules, interference by government on vital issues like appointment of teaching and non-teaching staff, wide powers vested in the chairman and principal, appointment of political executives on institutional bodies, laying down of service conditions, financial aid as a tool to curtail autonomy, state control on opening of new institutions or grant of affiliation to new colleges, frequent interference of judiciary in matters relating to institutional affairs. Let us now discuss the benefits of autonomy, accepting ownership on quality matters to be achieved by self and peer appraisal of teachers, students, and programs. Increase of peer opinion in decision making, restructuring of curricula, updated teaching learning methods and modules. Improved documentation using information technology, improved student services in IT-based learning resources and support services, healthy practices and greater involvement of students, parents and alumni. You can reach me at these two email addresses. Thank you very much for the session.